interesting times. To discuss more on how African countries might be affected by the next U.S. president after the election, we're joined by a foreign policy analyst, and that's Bolu Michael-Biyi. Bolu, we live in very interesting times, I would say this, and seeing comments like this from a former president of the United States, very interesting. But I have to ask you, how do you anticipate continuity or changes in U.S. foreign policy towards Africa under a potential Trump or Harris administration compared to previous administrations?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Well, I don't think there's going to be much difference in terms of foreign policy because we still, if Harris emerges, she's been a vice president all along, and definitely she has a say in the current policy of the Biden administration. But Trump, when he was president, he supported Africa, specifically Nigeria, in approving this sale of arms to help fight Boko Haram. And I think if he emerges as president again, he's going to maintain such a pragmatic approach. I think his focus would be more on economic and security alliances and alliances that will give mutual benefit as against the Democratic Party's approach of developmental aid, which often comes with certain conditions. They might say, okay, for us to be able to support you in Africa, you would need to devalue your currency, or say pass a policy that supports, extreme feminism or the LGBTQ rights or other values that might be un-African traditionally. So I think that if Harris emerges, there won't be much difference in foreign policy, but if Trump emerges, definitely there will be a change in terms of foreign policy.
And talking of economic engagement, how might the economic policies of the next U.S. president influence, trade relations and investment opportunities for African countries, especially those that are reliant on, American investment?
Okay, I think Trump will seek to increase the competitiveness of U.S. companies in Africa. They're very strategic about their alliances. I'm talking about if Trump emerges president now. And they'll be focused on sectors such as the energy sector, mining, or tech. I think Trump is kind of big on tech now. He's talking about cryptocurrency and financial technology and all that. But if Harris emerges, there'll still be investment in energy sector of Africa as well, but it's now going to be in renewable energy. She's big on green initiative and developmental projects, and Trump talks about oil and gas and fracking and things like that. Kamala Harris is more about the green economy, the climate initiative, climate action. There's this popular discrepancy between developing the economy and the environment. There's usually the debate because there's no way you want to develop a country without having some environmental impact. So if there's a push for environmental initiative too much, it will seem as though they don't want African countries to develop. More so, Africa contributes in negligible amounts to the climate issues right now compared to developed countries rather. So if Trump emerges, then we'll see investment in oil and gas, energy and all. But if Harris emerges, then we'll see more, there's a likelihood that we'll see more green initiatives.
And considering the sentiments by, Nigerian-Americans and other African, diaspora communities, I cannot wrap my head around some Nigerians and what they support and the candidate they supported this time. But how might their influence shape the next president's foreign policy decisions towards Africa? Will there be any influence at all?
Okay, let's go to the basics. When Obama emerged president, we thought he was going to do a lot for Africa. More so, he has an African background, specifically from Kenya. But when he emerged president, didn't really do much, in my own opinion, for Africa. He didn't really meet the expectation of a majority of Africans. And in the case of Nigeria, for example, he refused to approve the sale of arms to fight Boko Haram. And it was payback time during the election, and Trump emerged president. And after that, kind of forgave the Democratic Party, and now Biden emerged. And Biden himself hasn't really done that much for African countries of Nigeria specifically. And I think this election will be another payback time for the Nigerian-American community by probably electing Trump. And Trump, I think, will be quicker to support Africa in terms of issues as it relates to the economy and security. And I think these are critical issues that pertain to African countries, and I think that they will want to support a candidate that would promote Africa's economy and security. As far as Harris' policy for Africa is concerned, I think it's just going to be a continuation of what we're seeing right now, in exchange for developmental aid, in exchange for certain policies like promotion of LGBTQ rights, or devaluation of currency and things like that. I think Nigerian-American community is likely to support a Republican candidate right now.
Well, it's very interesting that we have so much hope on Donald J. Trump, the same person who called Nigeria the S-hole. I'll leave it there. Well, Michael, many thanks. Bolu Michael-Biyi, our guest today, foreign policy analyst, talking to us about the next U.S. president and what the hopes will be for the African continent. Once again, many thanks.
Thank you.